Council regular meeting for Tuesday, February 28th is now called to order. Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. It is now 5:01 p.m., and as a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Kelly,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Mr. Sweeney,
Present.
Mr. Tuma,
Here.
Mr. Gallagher,
Here.
Mr. Schron,
Here.
Ms. Conwell,
Present.
Ms. Turner. Ms. Turner is present.
Oh, she's stuck. She's locked.
She's locked out.
Oh, I thought she was locked.
Ms. Stevens,
Present.
Ms. Simon, Council President Jones,
Here.
and Ms. Turner.
Present.
You have a quorum.
All right, thank you. This time, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all. Andrea, is anyone signed in for public comment?
Yes, Andre P. White.
There's a
No, if you
green
could speak
light.
louder.
Okay, I got it.
Thank you.
Good. My name is Andre White. I'm part of CLASH. I'm a member of CLASH, which stands for.
Just step a little bit away from the microphone, not so close.
You
And
don't have to hold it, just. press
yeah,
it.
make sure the button is green and you don't
Okay.
have to hold it.
Can you hear me now? All right, once again, my name is Andre White. I'm a member of CLASH, stands for Cleveland-Led Advocacy for Safe Housing. And today, we want to talk about 2 years ago, the county declared racism as a public health crisis. One striking example of health disparity is prevalence of childhood-led poisoning. Here are 5 things that Calhoun County can do right now to address childhood-led poisoning without hiring a consultant. I'm sorry, I forgot to introduce Spencer, who's the treasurer of CLASH. 1, it required that moms and children enroll in the County Women, Infants, and Children WIC program are tested for lead exposure. Medicaid will pay the cost of this test for moms and babies. 2, require that all children in foster care are tested for lead exposure. Medicaid will pay the cost of testing, and it's likely that children in foster care have not been received regular well baby testing. Metro Health can provide the services, and Medicaid will pay. 3, require the foster homes and rental property in the city of Cleveland are in compliance with Cleveland Lead Safe Certificate Program. The Lead Safe Cleveland Coalition has funds to assist rental property owners come into compliance. 4, require that foster homes that are located outside of Cleveland receive a lead risk assessment, work with the county board, and help to provide financial assistance to foster care families if their homes are not lead safe. 5, conduct lead risk assessment in all county-owned or operate facilities that serve children between the ages of 0 to 6. The cost of a lead risk assessment should be a part of the ongoing maintenance of these facilities built before 1978. And 9, the last one, a final concern is the form of a question. US EPA data shows that iShowman Company factory in Oakwood County was a emission of lead into the air. Since the fire last week, is anyone in the county testing for lead in the area surrounding the plant? And that is the end of my public comment. You want to say something? No, I think you did a great job. Okay. Any questions?
No,
We have extra copies. We'll leave.
feel free to leave your paperwork with the clerk, and
Okay,
we will all
thank you.
review it. Thank you.
Good job, Andre.
Larry Rodriguez.
Good afternoon. This is Mr. Rodriguez. I would like to speak on behalf of the accessibility issues that we face in Cuyahoga County. I mean, there's greater accessibility issues, infrastructure issues, sidewalks that are not being properly designed, not ADA accessible, crosswalks, the buzzers don't work. Sometimes I have to use my app call Be My Eyes to have a remote assistant try to help me cross safely the streets. That is a problem where people with disabilities and people who are blind are facing. Not only that, when we're trying to cross an intersection safely, we can't cross it because someone is blaring their stereo systems with music with profanity and not taking us in consideration trying to cross safely that particular intersection on East 105 and Chester Avenue. That's where the Cleveland Sight Center is located at, or the intersections at Euclid Avenue and East 105 on the Healthline platform. Thank you for your assistance.
Julie Johnson.
Good evening, President Jones and members of council. Thank you for allowing me a few moments this evening to present a special acknowledgement to you. The holidays are a particularly stressful time. My name is Julie Johnson, CEO of Hunger Network. Thank you for allowing me a few minutes to address this comment. The holidays are a particularly stressful time for low-income families who are food and nutrition insecure. Parents of these families often forego necessities like meals to pay for additional expenses the season brings. Thankfully, the county awarded Hunger Network $50,000 last year to provide holiday chickens to thousands of grateful recipients. The purpose of this funding was to provide food to our residents who live in the highest food insecure neighborhoods of the county. Because we know they have huge transportation barriers, we also delivered the food directly into the community spaces that were easily accessible to our neighbors. Due to the county's generosity, Hunger Network and our partners completed 46 distributions and delivered over 4,300 chickens in 10 of the 11 county council districts, and 10 of the 17 City of Cleveland wards. Wilson Tower Apartments, located at 1919 East 55th Street in County District 7, City of Cleveland, Ward 7, has 218 units. Many of these residents face financial hardships and mobility issues. Most of them utilize our Midtown Market grocery-styled shopping pantry every month. They were so grateful for your thoughtfulness that they wanted to thank you in some way. On behalf of the residents of Wilson Tower Apartments, I am honored to present to you this thank you card from them. Please know how much we appreciate you. May I deliver the thank you card to where, please? Thank you so much.
Lou? Thank you. All right. Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here to support the legislation we will have about the 3 resolutions for our 3 public shelters. However, you have been hearing me for a long time about the situation in the shelters are no good. So let me give you a simple example to deliver certain things I mentioned before. With the current funding, the type of workforce we can hire to work in the environment. This is how they can falsify the report, which we mentioned before, but we did not tell you how. So I use a simple way to do it. Chris Renee, why aren't you eating your food? Now, Mr. Renee probably would tell us, the doctor say he cannot eat this, he's allergic to that, blah, blah, blah. However, I ignore that. I do not give him the alternative. Then I turn around to report to my superior. Mr. Jones, Chris Renee refused to eat the food. He even argued with me having a temper and throw the food to the garbage can. But I would not report what I did to him during that encounter. So this has become a serious workforce issue. If we cannot have adequate funding, we cannot hire the right kind of people to help the people already struggling in daily lives, already lost the ability to actually even rent a shabby, crap apartment. So the offer right now we can help is a one-size-fits-all because the same thing, funding restriction. And this goes to the mentality that people think it's okay to squeeze lots of people into the building without air ventilation, bad plumbing, and dangerous malfunctioning electrical systems. Not only they are not ADA accessible, and they actually create the dangers for people to even get injured, to fall, which I also presented some of the information in the past with different people when they encountered the trouble. Either they were here in person or they had a testimony written, and I presented for them. So here comes to the same thing. I still have to thank our slush fund kings and queens. Your effort makes sure the community will have some improvement. But ARPA fund, as taxpayers' money, cannot really utilize directly in taxpayers' hands. Is that possible? You can make an effort to make some changes for some of the resolution. So in that case, maybe the shelter can be demolished to rebuild. Instead of relying on the plan, they tell you it's wonderful, but we know they will not be, because we already suffer from all the past renovations they have given us. Thank you very much.
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
All right, thank you. Can we have a motion to approve our minutes from the February 14th regular meeting?
I so move.
Been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The minutes are approved. At this time, we'll have messages from the county executive.
Thank you, Council President, and good afternoon, members of council. Just wanted to say that I spent some time down in Columbus yesterday, and a couple of reasons why. One was to offer my impression of Ohio House Bill 1. I hope you join me in considering the fact that this is grossly premature, and because of that, likely deleterious to the well-being of our communities if it was ever even near passed or anything that looks like it. I spoke with Representative Adam Matthews and Bob Peterson, who've sponsored HB 1. And if you know, as you know, the proposal is to go to a flat tax, 2.75% in all of Ohio, and roll back property at 35 currently to 31.5. The damage that the pace and the crassness of this bill would do to Cuyahoga County Municipal Public Schools, to Cuyahoga County parks in the form of the metro parks, to Cuyahoga County public libraries is staggering. And so I let it be known to Representative Matthews, who apologized at the outset of his remarks to other county officials from Ohio, that it was wrongheaded. And I hope you'll join me. And I just spoke with Senator Dolan, who agrees. So that was one of the things I wanted to say. I spoke and carried that word on behalf of the county administration, but would hope council feels similar. I want to thank those who helped in the effort 2 weeks ago to turn down SB 23, which was targeted directly at metro areas like Cuyahoga County, Hamilton County, and Franklin County, and cities specifically Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, with populations at or above 300,000, to essentially take away our purview to advance projects the way we do it in our communities. So these wrong-headed moves from an occasional rogue cowboy legislator can really hurt us as communities go, and I think we have to continue to remind them that we evolve what we do in our communities carefully, methodically, and through engaged and informed public input. And I was just there in Columbus this week to let them know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, legislation introduced by council. Consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2023-0041, awarding a total sum not to exceed $25,000 to Burton Bell Car Development, Inc. for the Tenant Engagement and Quality Housing Program for the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2023-0042, reappointing F. Allen Bozeman to serve on the Cuyahoga County Personnel Review Commission for the term March 8th, 2023 through March 7th, 2029.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources Appointments and Equity Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2023-0024, awarding a total sum not to exceed $8,000 to the City of Fairview Park for the Evolis Radar Speed Sign Project from the District 1 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the March 14th, 2023 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2023-0025, awarding a total sum not to exceed $28,850 to the City of Lyndhurst for the purpose of procuring an All Hazards Command rehab vehicle from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will also move to the March 14th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Consideration of a resolution of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2023-0020, amending Resolution Number 2016-0218, dated December 13th, 2016, as amended by various resolutions, which authorized a grant in the amount of $2,500,000 to Variety Properties, LLC, for the benefit of a project located at 11801 through 11825 Lorraine Avenue in the city of Cleveland by extending the resolution sunset provision from February 28th, 2023 through November 30th, 2023.
Is there a motion?
Move to adopt.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion on this resolution? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of a resolution for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend rules 9D and 12A?
Mr. President, I move to suspend those rules.
Second.
Properly moved and discussed and seconded. All those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2023-0043, amending the 2022-2023 biennial operating budget for 2023 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations from the general fund for appropriation transfers and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution is the regular fiscal agenda of budget amendments. Answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. Most items are appropriations and closeouts of grants, technical accounting changes, and routine transfers. Notable is the transfer of $786,625 from the general fund and $190,800 from the HHS levy fund to the 27th pay reserve to plan ahead for the occasional years in which there is a 27th pay period during the year, creating additional personnel costs. There is also a $40,000 appropriation to assist with the screening, evaluation, and treatment of latent TB infections in the local Ukrainian population. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2023-0044, confirming the county executive's appointment of the Honorable Mayor Gigi Traore to serve on the Cuyahoga County Planning Commission representing the Cuyahoga County region for the term March 25th, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources and Equity Committee.
Resolution 2023-0045, confirming the county executive's reappointment of various individuals to serve on the Division of Children and Family Services Advisory Board for the term March 1st, 2023 through February 28th, 2027 for the following individuals: Dr. Andrew S. Garner, Angela M. Newman-White, and Lakeisha Wild.
This item will be referred to the Human Resources and Appointments Equity Committee.
Resolution 2023-0046, authorizing the county executive to execute all non-monetary contracts, including but not limited to agreements, easements, leases, memorandums of understanding, and permits in connection with the Beulah Park Euclid Beach Connector project.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0047, making an award on requisition 11381 to Katz Construction, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $1,494,590.80 for resurfacing of Wilson Mills Road from Lander Road to Alpha Drive in the city of Highland Heights and the village of Mayfield in connection with the 2021 through 2024 Transportation Improvement Program.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2023-0048, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for community-based services to support at-risk children and families for the period April 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2023, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $4,912,734.60 for the various providers listed on the agenda A through I.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2023-0049, making an award on requisition 9776 to the Metro Health System in the amount not to exceed $1,551,000 for comprehensive medical services for families involved with the Division of Children and Family Services for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Committee report and consideration of a resolution for second reading.
Resolution 2023-0029, authorizing participation in a sublease purchase arrangement with the Ohio Secretary of State for the purpose of acquiring and implementing voting machines and equipment and financing certain costs thereof. A sublease purchase agreement evidencing such arrangement and matters related thereto.
This item was previously discussed in our Committee of the Whole meeting earlier today. So this item will move to the March 14th Council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The rules are suspended.
Resolution 2023-0033, making awards on requisition 11147 to various contractors in the total amount not to exceed $1,500,000 for on-call heavy construction services on a task order basis for various road and bridge maintenance and repairs for the period March 1st, 2023 through February 28th, 2026 for the various contractors A through D as listed on the agenda.
Mr. President, with respect to this legislation, we had Nicole English from Public Works come before the Public Works Committee on February 22nd, 2023, as well as Ms. Lenora Lockett from the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. They spoke to this legislation here. All the selected vendors have committed to meeting the DEI goals. Per Ms. Lockett, the county has implemented tracking software to ensure compliance, and they'll track the invoicing to the individual vendors. Again, these are a master contract for all heavy construction services and on an on-task order basis for various projects. And I would ask for my colleagues' support moving this through on second reading suspension, so I'll make that motion.
Second.
Be moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2022-0034, making awards on requisition 11049 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $2 million for various maintenance, repair, and operations supplies for the Sanitary Engineering Division, commencing upon contract signature for a period of 2 years for the various providers A through H as listed on the agenda.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, with respect to our 2023-0034. This is a use of a master contract that will allow the Public Works Department to promptly address emergency needs. It's a 2-year contract that will access the funding as needed for various projects. It's 100% from the Sanitary and Sewer Fund, and all of these vendors were selected through a formal RFQ process. I would ask my colleagues to move forward on second reading suspension on this piece of legislation as well.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2023-0035, making awards on requisition 11080 to various providers in the total amount not to exceed $3 million for various maintenance, repair, and operation supplies commencing upon contract signature for a period of 2 years for the various providers A through T as listed on the agenda.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And Mr. President, with respect to this piece of legislation, this master contract will be used for various maintenance, repair, and operation supplies. Let's see, there were 20 selected vendors and 14 are returning vendors with 6 new vendors. This comes out of the 100% of Public Works Fund and was presented to us on February 22nd. I would ask for my colleagues' support on this piece of legislation as well.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2023-0036, making an award on requisition 11289 to Perk Company, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $694,755.95 for a pre-phase work in connection with the replacement of Pleasant Valley Road Bridge numbers 09.03, 09.35, 09.68, over Cuyahoga River, including widening of Canal Road, Hillside Road intersection, and installation of a temporary traffic signal in the village of Valley View and the city of Independence.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this piece of legislation, it's part of a multi-phase project, and Canal Road will be widened. They're going to have temporary traffic signals, which will be installed, and traffic will be maintained at all times. It's estimated to start apparently today and expected to finish sometime late May, and it's covering 1.26 mile stretch of road. It's funded 100% from the County Road and Bridge Fund, and the main portion of the project will be, as I indicated, up soon. And I would ask for my colleagues' support on this so we can get this important project moving along.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2023-0037, authorizing a revenue-generating agreement with the Cleveland Police Historical Society, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $10 to lease 4,000 square feet of space in the City of Cleveland Police Department Headquarters Building, located at 1300 Ontario Street in Cleveland, for the Cleveland Police Museum for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2025.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
And,
Go ahead.
okay, Mr. President, with respect to this, this piece of legislation, this will allow the Cleveland Police Historical Society space in the Cleveland Police Headquarters at the Justice Center complex. We do have some unknowns, but the lease agreement allows the county to terminate the lease after, with 30 days notice, that is. And this was presented to us by Mr. Myers from Public Works. I'll defer, I think.
I have a question. It's $10.
It's a nominal fee.
Yep. Is this historically what it's been? Or do you know if this changed? Is Mr. Myers
I don't see
here
Mr.
from
Myers here, but I
Public
do see
Works?
Mr. Dever. Ironically, Mr. Sweeney did try to argue for a higher fee.
Lower fee, $5.
Good afternoon, members of council. Michael Dever, Director of Public Works for Cuyahoga County. So when we took over ownership of the Cleveland Police Building back in 2017, the city of Cleveland, this was underneath their responsibility for this space. Just recently, we've amended the current contract with the Cleveland Police for an additional year. And this space wasn't accounted for. They are hopeful to be able to move to a new facility, potentially with the new Cleveland Police Headquarters at the Artcraft Building. That hasn't been decided yet, and then in the interim here, we're trying to accommodate them. This space is not being utilized by us. It's on the ground floor. It's in the lobby area of the Cleveland Police Building, and we hope to come to some type of resolution between now and when Cleveland Police move out of the building.
My question was historically, has the price remained the same? Did we reduce it?
Yeah, actually,
What-
they were
that was
covered
by the
formally
Cleveland
under
Police
the
Department's
the police
contract.
department's contract, yes.
So, okay, all right. There's an out, right? I mean, this goes through 12/31/25.
Yeah, that's when we anticipate that Cleveland Police will make their decision, and this group may go with them. They may go to some other facility in the city of Cleveland or the county. This just gives them this temporary home until we can come to some type of resolution in the future.
Are they a nonprofit?
Nonprofit, yes, they are.
Yes, they are?
Yeah.
Okay. And are people going in there, or is this more to store the?
Well, actually, people do. It's in the lobby area of the
Okay.
police building.
Okay.
If you go through.
Yeah, I know where it is. I just wondered now that, yeah, people.
So they
are
had a
still
lot
coming.
of artifacts. Originally, they were located, if you know where the urinalysis lab has been rebuilt in the Cleveland Police Headquarters back in 17th. We had to relocate this museum at that time, so we moved them across the hall, like I said, in unused space in the building.
Thank you.
Any further discussion?
Thank you.
Not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2023-0038, making an award on requisition 10456 to Lutheran Metropolitan Ministry in the amount not to exceed $2,231,638 for operations and case management services for a 400-bed men's emergency shelter located at 2100 Lakeside Avenue in the city of Cleveland, and for facilitation and coordination of overflow shelter services for single adults and families at various locations for the period January 1st, 2023 through August 19th, 2023.
Move to adopt. Second. Mr. Chair, this is a needed service for the men in Cuyahoga County who needs emergency shelter. It's 100% HHS levy funds. I ask for my colleagues' support.
One question, Mr. President, if I can. Sorry, I'm asking questions on the floor. This only goes to August of this year. What's the plan? It's a short-term situation. Are they going out to bid again in August? Like,
No,
why is this so short-term?
They had an increase in what they asked for before, and so the increase, and because of our budget and the way it is, it will only get them to a certain point. So they'll have to come back to us during budget time.
Okay. Thanks.
Further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Please add my name, sir.
Let's add Councilwoman's name.
Duly noted. Resolution 2023-0039, making an award on requisition 10456 to Young Women's Christian Association of Greater Cleveland, Ohio, in the amount not to exceed $2,536,793 for operation and case management services at the Norma Herr Women's Shelter, located at 2227 Payne Avenue in the city of Cleveland, for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this is also a needed service for the women in Cuyahoga County who need emergency shelter. It is also 100% HHS levy funds.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Please add my name, Turner.
Let's add Councilwoman.
Thank you. Resolution 2023-0040, making an award on requisition 10456 to Mental Health Services for Homeless Persons, Inc., doing business as Frontline Service, in the amount not to exceed $1,422,933 for temporary housing for single adults and youth at the North Point Transitional Housing, located at 1550 Superior Avenue in the city of Cleveland, for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt. Second. Mr. President, this is a needed temporary transitional housing for young adults in Cuyahoga County. It is also 100% HHS levy funds. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, I didn't know when to do this. I have to recuse myself for a potential conflict of interest on this particular piece of legislation.
Let's
Thank you.
recuse Councilman Tuma
Please add my name.
and add Councilwoman's name, Councilwoman Turner's name.
Duly noted.
With all those having said aye, the resolution is adopted. Consideration of a resolution for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2023-0022, authorizing an assignment and amendment to an agreement with Five Star Aviation LLC for lease of land and corporate hangar facility at the Cuyahoga County Airport, located at 26500 Curtis Wright Parkway in the city of Highland Heights, for the period August 13th, 1993 through August 12th, 2033, to effectuate the assignment and assumption of the lease to Highland Heights Richmond LLC, effective March 1st, 2023, and to amend the agreement to grant tenant up to 3 renewal terms through March 1st, 2054.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, Mr. Myers came before Public Works on February 1st, 2023. Just a little background on this particular situation here. This is a hangar that's currently owned by the Lerner family, and their presence in the regions has reduced significantly. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. In the last few years, for sure, this agreement allows the county to have a viable tenant on the property, and it still provides some stability with an on-site hangar user. And, you know, we did inquire as to why a 30-year lease, and the fact is the county will still maintain ownership, an ownership interest, but for the lessee, the potential lenders need stability that a long-term ground lease provides, and this length of term is consistent with aviation industry standards. Due to the length of the contract, the county included the right to periodically reassess the value of the contract, and we asked a lot of questions during committee, so I would ask for my colleagues' support on this.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, the resolution is adopted. At this time, miscellaneous committee reports. Do we have any?
Mr. President,
Councilman Miller.
my colleagues, Finance and Budgeting Committee, will meet on Monday, March 6th at 1 p.m., our next regular time, to review the county's 2022 year-end actual financial reports. And I expect that all members of council will receive the report in the next couple days so that you'll have some time to review it and prepare questions for Monday's meeting. Thank you.
Mr. President, Public Works will meet at its regularly scheduled time next week.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Council Operations will meet at its regularly scheduled time.
Any other reports?
Health and Human Services will meet at its regularly scheduled time at 1 o'clock.
Education Environment meets Wednesday, the 8th at 3 o'clock.
Human Resources, Appointments, and Equity will meet at its regularly scheduled time next week.
Any other reports? Not, all right. Not any, is there any miscellaneous business? Councilman Miller.
Mr. President, my colleagues, I'm greatly concerned about allegations that we have kept inmates in jail past their authorized release date. This must not happen. It's basic human rights. Since there is pending litigation, I thank you, Mr. President, for supporting my request to hear this matter in an upcoming executive session.
Any other miscellaneous business?
Mr. President,
Councilwoman?
first of all, I'd like to thank the county executive and Council President Pernell Jones for your program last week to discuss diversity, equity, and inclusion in the county. And Director Byrd, are you out in the audience? It was a lovely conversation that you have. I hope to see that model more often. I also like to thank the county executive for coming and participating in the Divine Nine photograph. I've been hearing chatter all throughout the county how impressed employees are with your commitment. And I'd like to thank Devin for her support with the social media campaign all month long. And so on this last day of February, just wishing everyone a happy Black History Month.
All right, thank you. Any further miscellaneous business? If Not, if nothing else holds, I